Alright, sorry if I sound tired. I just woke up from a nap like 20 minutes ago. But anyways, you already read the title. We're going to be looking at some of Halo Infinite's most insane records, from the most impressive to the most flat out stupid. Before the video starts, I want to give a shout out to LeafApp.co for providing all the leaderboards for all this. If they didn't provide any leaderboards, this video honestly would not exist whatsoever. Also, I just want to say I'm not going to show every single leaderboard that they have up, because one, that would just make this a 30-minute long video, and two, I want you guys to explore everything that the site has, and you pique your own curiosity and look at stuff yourself. I also want to give a special thank you to you guys for how well the last video did. I did not expect it to do that well. I thought at most it would do a couple hundred views and then immediately dip down. But you guys actually enjoyed that video, which I'm really glad to see. Now let's not waste too much time into this video. Let's get into the first leaderboard. The leaderboard that's featured in the thumbnail to get all that clickbaity clickety clicks. The most kills. Specifically, the most kills with 0 deaths. Why did I pick that? Because that sounds more badass. And honestly, it's more impressive. I want you guys to have a little guess in your head of how many kills someone can get without dying. I'll give you a hint. I got 117 and that is my personal record, and that is only 25th on this board. But hopefully you have a guess in your head right now, because the most amount of kills someone has gotten without 0 deaths is Uvinity. I think that's how you say his name. I hope it is. With 171 kills. Now, a couple big things to note with this top 100 leaderboard is, one, almost all of the game modes are either Infection or Big Team Capture the Flag. Now, second thing I want to note is that Uvinity is on this leaderboard 22 times. I am not over-exaggerating. I have counted twice, maybe 3 times. He is straight up on this leaderboard 22 times. And that's because it is so easy to farm an Infection. I thought I was doing pretty alright in Infection and BTB. I thought I was the pimp whenever it came to coming to killing. But no, this dude's on here like on almost every page. Another dude that pops up on here a noticeable amount of times is Lego. Lego pops up on this leaderboard about 5 times, which may look small compared to Uvinity and his 22 places on this leaderboard. But I don't think anyone's gonna match up Uvinity in the most kills without deaths. And speaking of Lego and Uvinity, Lego, a person named NFT Mike, and I share a 5-way tie in the 25th place spot with 117 kills. Oh yeah, I also feature on this board a few more times. Now that we've talked about the most kills in one game, I think it's appropriate to talk about the most assists in one game, which these leaderboards look fairly different from each other, having completely different people entirely. The most assists that have happened in one game is 126 assists by Delta Plays 01. Now, a few notable things to note about this leaderboard is that almost, if not all, of these players got their assists through BTB. From what I'm assuming is driving the Warthog or being a gunner in a Warthog. Now, when it comes to some people that I should note here, the real Cola is someone I'm gonna have to talk about. If you thought Uvinity was the only person that can monopolize a Halo leaderboard like this, you'd be wrong. Because Real Cola, I might have to recount, is on here 36 times, with his highest peak being at the 2nd place spot at 116 assists. Another person I think I should note here is A Good Man, because he pops up on this leaderboard around 6 times, which doesn't seem as big compared to Cola here, but it is still an impressive thing nonetheless, with him peaking at 68 assists. Now, the reason why I was saying that these guys probably got their assists through driving is because if you look at both of their profiles, Cola is number 1 on the medal leaderboards for Immortal Chauffeur, which is when you get 15 driver assists without dying. And if you look at A Good Man, he is 2nd place in Wheelman medals, which is when you get 5 driver assists without dying. But that's how I got to my conclusion. If you want to try and get on the assist leaderboard for whatever reason, start driving. Now, all that driving is probably gonna feel like forever. which is where we're going to get into the longest match made game. While you think this is probably not going to be as long, I'm surprised myself. To put things a bit more in perspective, a BTB match lasts 15 minutes, plus an additional 3 minutes if you get into overtime. The longest match recorded in Infinite history is 329 minutes, which equates to almost 6 hours. I don't think my sanity would be intact if I played Infinite for 6 hours straight, let alone 6 hours straight in one singular match. A thing to note this leaderboard is that most of the games are either on King of the Hill or on Stockpile, which I'm surprised to see Stockpile in the mix. I'm assuming that people would get in a 12 stack and they would just hide the seeds from the enemy team to make it last longer. But I don't know, I can't judge. But if we look at the leaderboard, there are a bunch of records set within this match alone that you could just look at yourself if you want to pause the screen and look into the leafapp.co leaderboard yourself. I can't say anything 100% certain because I have not done any bit of research on this leaderboard at all, but I want to assume that there is a group of like 8 or 7 friends that wanted to play ranked and they all decided to search at the same time so they can get this kind of record match. The only reason why I'm saying this is because it is a ranked match, and this match started at some like bizarre time of like 1, 2, 3 a.m. where like no one's on Infinite ranked. Who goes on Infinite ranked at like midnight to play? Oh, look at that, full moon's out. You know what that means. It's time to play some Halo Infinite Ranked. Whether you want to look into the legitimacy of this match or not, it is still impressive to see. With this 6-hour match, you'd probably expect a lot of deaths, which actually, one of the players, Max77, tops number 1 on the most deaths in the game, with 611 deaths. Now, one thing to note about this leaderboard is it's sort of the same compared to the longest match leaderboard, where most of the matches played are either King of the Hill or Big Team. Another thing to note about this leaderboard is that either a lot of these players are on Smurf accounts, or a lot of these players are really new to the game. The reason why I say this is if I look through the leaderboard, I see a lot of 1s for emblems. I get that for depending on what game you've played, that Halo can be a hard game to get into, but come on. And before you ask, no, I'm not on this leaderboard. If you thought that, you can go fuck yourself. For all these guys in the death leaderboard, at least one of them had to be a betrayal. Which is why we're segueing into the leaderboard that really inspired me to make this video entirely. The most betrayals. The thing to note these players that are on this leaderboard is that they're either really into Halo and just get subsequent betrayals from time to time, or they're just smurfing and trying to throw the game on purpose. But with that out of the way, the most betrayals that one person has is John Vanacore with 2,400 betrayals as of the time recording this. I honestly thought this number would be higher, despite Infinite and MCC being 2 different games. Whenever I get into BTB on MCC, every other match, there will always be someone trying to betray me. But hey, at least I'm glad to see that not everyone's trying to go for betrayals. That's really great. But hey, I mean, if you want to try and change that, if you want to try and be on the leaderboard, look at me promoting positivity in the Halo community. Now, some other people to note within this list is the content creator Accelerate being at 29th place with 432 betrayals. Another person to note is Nifty Noob, another content creator and a friend of mine, being at 84th place with 262 betrayals. Oh yeah, I also forgot to add this person. A good man from the most assists leaderboard is 17th on this board with 534 betrayals. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to share with all you guys the most impressive records I can find with Halo Infinite. Which record did you find the most impressive? If you enjoyed this video, and only if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe, because that actually shows me that you enjoy these videos that I create. But I'm heading out. Peace!